Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And we got the Demon Lord DEENO'S Rampant Reverie event. We get these not every single month, but very, very often, and they've gotten a little bit more difficult as time goes on now that we have an Inferno stage to take on that used to only go up to Extreme. But this is just, a kind of a free event that you can parallel process. There are missions, there are, as you can see, gold and platinum hammers to be had here if you can clear the higher difficulties, which platinum hammers are always a great thing. But every time you clear the stage, you get these black crystals, and you take those crystals into the Demon Lord Deeno honor bestowed by Demon Lord shop, and you can exchange them for a number of useful items in here. So before we actually get into the gameplay, I just want to go through the shop and tell you what people should buy and what people should avoid buying. So first off, shards, always a good pick for any player, unless you're like me and you can't use them anymore. Platinum and gold hammers, very, very good pickup. These 4-star motes are used to awaken 4-star characters from 100 to 120. New players do not buy these, they are a waste because you don't have any 4-star characters upgraded to level 100, and honestly, there aren't really any that need to be. These don't work for the free-to-play characters, by the way. It's only for like the summonable 4-stars, so very much less useful. Grindstones, if you're low, you can buy them. These Valor Tomes are only good if you are endgame player and you want to sweat in Ranked Valor Cup. This gear is very expensive to make. It takes a lot of materials. New players, medium players who don't care that much about Valor should just avoid these altogether. Your normal gear will be just fine. The EX rocks are definite pickups. These are not hugely farmable. You get, the EX ticket every day from the daily. It takes 3 of them to enter the stage, and, the more you can get these for free, the better, because you can get 15 of these each. That's pretty huge. So these are very important pickups. The tower stamina, if you're still grinding up that, also a good pickup. The reforge rocks are good for reforging gear in case you're running out of like the high grade feathers or whatever material that you use. And then the big time rocks and the rainbow rocks are also good pickups because these are less easily farmable than the smaller versions, but they are still farmable, so you don't have to spend all of your currency on these. The cores, I would only pick up what you need, honestly. Since it varies, I don't need any of these because I have gear that I just swap off of people, so I don't really make new gear at this point. And then gold and magicules are just kind of giveaways. So honestly, what people should be focusing on are the shards, the platinum and gold hammers, because those are hard to get, the grindstones maybe, the EX rocks, and the rainbow and big time rocks. So those are the most efficient things. Of course, you can buy whatever you want. These are just my suggestions so you don't waste all your currency, because again, these are stupid. These Lithogram Valor Cup gears are only good for sweaty tryhards. So there's a lot of things in the shop, but you do not have to buy everything. So now let's get to the actual teams. Also, one more thing I want to note before we actually get into it. There are missions that you can get up to a multi for free of like normal bitch tickets by doing the event 100 times. It does not matter what difficulty you do the 100 times at. You could do it at Inferno, you could do it at the lowest stage, normal. It doesn't matter, as long as you do one of these 100 times. And you will still get the black crystals from doing the lowest stage, it's just you won't get as much as the Inferno gives, so it'll take you a little bit longer to clear out the shop. But, I mean, if you can't beat Inferno because you don't have the specific teams that, because it is limited, you're dying too much, then just drop it down. I mean, yes, Platinum Hammers, you are losing out on them, but if you can't beat it, you can't beat it. And the stage is pretty restricted because it has that frontline unit bind and team restrictions. So if you can't do it, do what you can, do Master, or maybe even Extreme if you're able to. Do that 100 times, get your free multi, clear out the shop of everything that's important that I just talked about, and be on your merry way. You missed 1 platinum hammer and 5 crystals. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so if we take a look at the missions for this, beat Inferno in 9 turns, 11 turns, everyone alive once, everyone alive 3 times, 2 defense skills, 2 body and spirit changing skills, and 2 magic changing skills, and then a 6 combo of greens, oranges, and 200 skill points in 1 turn. So you gotta do a decently sized nuke, which if you have the Overlord team, you can certainly get the job done. I just don't know if you can actually use the entire Overlord team, because there are some team restrictions here. So you are limited to Pretty Sparkle, Wielder of Magic, A Heart of a Hero, Wholehearted Devotion, and Octagram Deeno, and any free-to-play character. These are the only characters you can use on these categories, which does restrict people quite a bit. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ones. So if we go into here, this is the team that I've been using to run through it. It doesn't get all the missions, but it gets the win at least. So if we click in and look at the options, we have more than a few. Bride Shuna, Dark Milim, Albedo's here, Ainz is here. You can certainly make Shoutir. Yeah, the Overlord characters are here. The free-to-play Nabe is here because she's on the flashback beatdown emissary. Just gotta find her. There she is. So you could definitely make some kind of team out of all of these options, saying that you have all of these options. But things that you should note before you go into here is that Deeno binds people for 7 turns. So whoever is on the front line of your unit, you're going to have to live with them. So the back line, honestly, does not matter. As long as your front line is good enough to deal damage and kill, that's all you're going to need, because it's all you're going to be able to use. So let's go ahead and jump in, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Alright, so diving in, you'll see immediately, turn 1, before we can do anything, we get this bind in here. And you might have gear that may be able to dodge it, but that's like a 10% chance. But we're binded in for a long time. 7 turns. So for 7 turns, you can't swap anybody out, which is why I said you gotta be okay with your front line, and you gotta make it work. So if you can't kill, and you rely on like swapping units out, you might have to rethink your whole strategy. So he is hitting, but with this team specifically, we have the orb giveaway with Diablo, we have the rainbow orbs of this Rimuru. You may or may not have this team, it's what's worked for me very well, and it gets us a lot of gauge very, very quickly. But honestly, you just need a good single target nuker, and he doesn't have really any additional defenses that I'm aware of. He has physical attack up, and he has crit, but you could use the magic team, you could use a physical team, you could use a pierce team. It doesn't really matter here. So he's got 503,000 HP, which is a decent amount, but he nerfs blues, so probably not best to bring a blue team. And then he lowers our crit resistance and stuns if we get deep enough into the fight. But here we're going to use Rimuru's buff, Milim's buff, and Diablo's crit resistance down debuff. And we're going to hit him for like almost 200k or something, so it'll take a few extra turns to be able to actually kill him. But this will do a decent amount of damage right here. Almost gets us another protector, but not quite. 175, even less than I thought. Okay. But we're doing 16k a hit, so that's pretty good. And he's fairly low now. And he doesn't have any stupid healing mechanics either, which is really, really great. Okay. He really hates Diablo, apparently. Okay. Ooh. That's not the hand I wanted to see. Alright, let's use the... this is alt resistance and synergy power, but we don't have any synergy right now. Let's go ahead and just burn these off, and then we'll save. That way we get a Xion next turn, and we can definitely nuke then. And we'll have some extra points to use as well. So yeah, 145 points now. Perfect. So let's use this buff, let's use that buff, and then we'll use Xion, give ourselves a crit and synergy again, and then this should be over, and we'll move on to the Overlord team, probably, is where we'll get the next round, because that's going to be a team that can get us the 200 skill points in one turn. It can get us the full hand of greens. We can use some body and spirit changing skills. So yeah, that'll be very efficient. So there's the New Year's Blessing team, able to clear Inferno. Let's move on. Alright, next up is the Overlord team, Rimuru, Ainz, Nabe, and Shizu. Again, the back units don't matter because they're never going to see the front line. So we have Ainz as our nuker, Shizu as our buffer alongside Ainz, and then Nabe as our orb changer. And we're going to pray that this can work. Now, if you don't have Shizu, because you unfortunately got missed out, then I would just bring another orb changer. Bring someone who can cover the oranges, like free-to-play Sufio or free-to-play Aaron or something like that. Isis could also be a nice pick because she's got that massive green buff, but we're going to use Shizu here. So just know that if you don't have this option, bring an orb changer. If you don't have Ainz, then honestly, bring a another single target unit, because Rimuru is good enough that he can lead anybody. You could, put Bride Shizu as your DPS. That could certainly work. Or Hinata. They both, triple steel orbs. That's perfectly doable. You could bring Guy. Certainly an option. Megumin as well. There are a lot of units you can bring to substitute, because Rimuru is such a good protector. He can lead anybody, as long as you have some orb changers for greens. And that's the only real restriction. So we're going to run with this, and we'll try it out. Also, before we go, we can also use the body and spirit changing skills. So in case you had that question, what is a body and spirit skill? It's the little pointy stars. All right, we have an attack skill. We have the body and spirit skill. We have magic changing skills, so generally orb changes. And then the only thing we don't have is defense skills, and that will be our third team that we show off that will have maybe those. But now let's jump in. All right. Let's go ahead and just send these orange orbs and pray we get a little bit lucky with some incoming greens. We do have 50 points, so we can change, we can use both of Nabe's orb changes. Okay, that will work. So we'll use hers. Let's see, yeah, we'll use the blue first, and then the special convert. So boom, magic changing skills, full hand of greens. It's just that we don't have any extra protection gauge, so we are not quite gonna make that Rimuru, which makes resetting a little bit difficult. So let's see what turn 3 has to offer. We do have to build up to 200 points though, so I mean it's gonna take a hot minute. Okay, ooh, well, no, we do. With the trait, we have enough to get Rimuru, so that's actually very good. So, we have 94 points, which allows us to do everything. So let's actually alt swap away. Actually, yeah, let's alt swap away. Boom. And then we will reset everything with Rimuru. Also buff our stats. And then we will use Nabe's newly reset orb change, so the blues and the special convert again. And now that we have the extra protection gauge from the charm, it'll help us cycle a little bit faster. We're still not going to get it, but we now have a lot of extra points to use. So next turn we can go a little ham, and we can start using the protection gauge buff plus the despair with Ainz. And that'll definitely... okay, sure, that works. Okay, we have a turn. Okay, awesome. Because of Shizu and her trait, we actually have another Rimuru, so that actually makes things super duper easy. So let's use a stack of the Despair, so that's one use of the Body and Spirit skill. We'll reset everything, we'll use the alt swap and then the orb changes again. And I think after that we will have enough to nuke properly. It's just we need to use 200 points in one turn. And now we're going to have to do some quick math on what that's going to take. So that's 160 right there. Okay, so yeah, we can do 185 plus an orb change or something, and that could be the 200. Plus we'll have alts for everybody, so that'll be nice. And there we go. Now we have an extra protector to keep stacking with. We have 2 single target alts. We could continue to stack as well. Like, we don't have to nuke next turn. I just think that we'll be fine. Actually, you know what? We might as well hold it, because we almost have an Ainz EX alt. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Another stack of despair, so there's our second usage, so that mission is now complete. We'll reset again. We might actually get 2 EX ults. No, never mind, we don't have any other Shizu orbs except for her own. So swap, and then we can just use this convert because we only have the 2 oranges. And yeah, definitely now, next turn, we will be ready to nuke because of the EX ult from Ainz. Will do plenty of damage, because again, he only has like 500,000 health, and if you've stacked properly with this team and you can get a few big buffs out of it, it will work. If you don't have Shizu, obviously you're going to be missing a pretty big buff, even though part of her buff isn't going to actually take effect. The weakness strike doesn't matter because we are type neutral, because he has no element, but the alt resistance down will still definitely help. And perfect, actually, that works out. So there's 8, there's 16, there's 185, and then we'll use this orb change, which I guess we don't have to use at full cost, but we're going to anyways, just to make it a full hand of greens. And there's our 200 skill points used in one go, in one turn, and then we will go ahead and nuke. And we'll send Ainz first, Shizu, Nabe, and then Nabe, Shizu, Shizu. And Ainz does 286, and he's dead. Okay, so there we go. There's the Overlord team getting it done with the stacking, with the 2 uses of the spirit or body and spirit changing skills, and pretty easily. Let's move on to the next team. Okay, I checked, and there is no defense skill mission for Inferno 3. We're only down to beat it with everyone alive 3 times. So, I think the other stages had a defense skill. Body and spirit, yeah, defense skills. I don't think I used defense skills in the last 2 teams. I could be mistaken. I had orb change, attack buffs. Yeah, no, I can't really think of it, but I might be wrong. I might have to go back through and maybe you'll see some words on here. But the last team we're going to use is the Wielder of Magic team. Milim, Shinsha, Hinata, and then Ranga is actually able to convert the first hand because the entire front line is Wielder of Magic, so we can definitely take use of that. It's just that without any starting protection gauge, we're not going to get Milim on turn 2, so it'll be kind of funky. Alright. So, Ranga's orb change is limited to Wielder of Magic orbs, just like how Nabe is limited to Stern of Spirit orb changes. Ranga, I kind of started that, but since everyone here is Wielder of Magic, we can change those, and we can get a full hand of oranges turn 1, which gets us less than half a protector gauge, so awesome. But it does almost get us alts for everybody, and with traits, we might get alts here, which I actually don't know if I want. I guess let's find out what this hand is going to be like. A whole bunch of blues, okay. Sure. Alright, so there's 2 alts, boom. Wasn't really what I was trying to go for, but let's go ahead and just burn these out. Let's burn these blues since they're going to get nerfed next turn. Hinata's an AoE, yeah, 17k. Shinsha is single target, but she has no buffs on, 27,000. Alright, we're really going to need to build up to get that Milim, because we get the 6-hand... okay, sure, that works. We get the guaranteed Pierce, we get the 6-hand of oranges, we get 40 skill points, and that's what we're really going to be looking for, because that's going to help us get a lot of damage. So here we go, 100 points, Protector, Ranga's alt. Ranga does have the Pierce power, which will add on top of what Milim is giving with guaranteed Pierce. Shinsha has her EX damage buff. It's just that I don't have an alt-swapping unit now. So I need to get, just a bunch of Shinsha orbs, which we got a 2-2-2 spread. Okay, well, whatever. Let's do the Future Hand? Future Hand? Buff and buff. Alright, so what we're doing is we're going to guarantee the entire hands are oranges. We're going to raise up our Pierce power and the skill point gain on oranges. And we're going to do the damage on oranges and the protection gauge on oranges. So a lot of things going on here, but this will guarantee that this hand will be oranges, and the next turn will also be, 3 alts and 3 oranges. Plus everyone now has Pierce and Pierce power, so they'll hit a little bit harder. And yeah, not another protector though, unfortunately. So 12,000, 16,000, 17,500, those are much nicer numbers right there. Down to half his HP, and there we go. So 3 alts and 3 oranges. Let's do the attack buff and the element buff. This also buffs her EX damage, but we don't have an EX alt, so we're just going to be banking on this 39% attack buff plus the element buff from Hinata. And hopefully this does enough, because it is a full 6 send. Let's send Ranga, Hinata, then Shinsha, Ranga, Hinata, Shinsha. We get another Milim, so if in case it doesn't, we can orb change into a 6-hand next turn, maybe kill. 27k, 39k, 86k. We're going to be very close. Very, very, very close. If we manage to, crit or something. Oh no, the Pierce did it. Okay, there you go. 5 turns. Alright, the Wielder of Magic team hasn't really come back. She's been on a few banners, but you may or may not have her. But there we go. There's all the missions done for Inferno difficulty for the Deeno event, whatever you want to call it. Again, don't buy out everything in the shop, just buy what is necessary and what is difficult to farm normally, because bronze and silver hammers are not hard to come by. Platinums and golds, much harder. Shards, obviously. Again, don't buy these. Buy the EX rocks and buy the big time rocks. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.